do it too. And here, instead of calling it as void, I'm going to call it int. Right? So instead of void, it is int. Okay? Yeah? We are returning a int. We are not, because void means it returns nothing. Int means it returns a integer, a value which is going to be integer, right? Here, when it's here, instead of doing system out print line, you should be doing Misha, are you with us? Return value. Right? So it will take the value from the user, A, B, whatever value required, calculate the result and give it back to the whosoever is calling it. Is that okay? So here I have got two ways of storing this. I can actually do, you can just call this function like this, right? Call PW, call the function and display the result on screen. So if I do this, system dot out I'm calling this function, but where am I calling this function from? Within print line, right? That means print line will actually print the result, right? Or I can do what? There is another way. Store the value in another variable. So if I say integer r1 is equal to POW, and I can then say system dot out dot print line r1. Understood? Yeah. I've used that value twice, but one I've shown you an example that I can print it on the screen, or I can store it in a variable, or do both basically. Up to you what do you want to do. But that now, so if I save this and bring it back, yes. Sorry. Label as that, and then how will I compile? 64, this is the first time, right? And next time I've done 3 and I've done 6. Yeah? It wasn't the same result, obviously.
Yeah, we can answer the phone.
Is that okay? Why there are 2 times calls? Because I used POW twice. I used it in system out print line and I used it. So that's why the function is being called twice. Is that right? But the idea is that up to you, how do you want to use that function? Is that okay? This is a reusable code, but this only returns you a value. It does not receive, it does not calculate the power from somebody else. Is that right? It just takes its own values every time. Is that? Do Do you understand what I'm trying to say? It is independent. It is independent in the way that it asks the user the first value and the second value, but it is not receiving that value from the calling person. Does that make sense? Now the total usable functions are those which receive the arguments and give you the return value. Those are considered to be a total use because then it is not dependent on a value which they are not independent. Does that make sense? They will be receiving values from someone and giving them the output. Take it and give it back. Now I can make the same program in the same way. But do you want to do this much and then we can look at the passing arguments, or do you want me to show you arguments and then do it? Show you and then you will write it down in one go? Okay. Because I'm obviously developing this as we are going on. I'm just developing it in different stages. But again, you will have to see how do you want to develop that method. So if I do here, let's say a third one, right? And I save this as a third version. What we are saying is, I don't need this code in this. Does that make sense? This should not be part of this. Taking the value should go in main. The number getting should not be part of this, right? This should be independent of this. So I can leave them here and take them. I'm going to take all of them out. Or let's take just this much. Here, this goes in main. Take input, right? I'm going to take the variables integer a, comma b. Is that okay? I've taken two numbers here. Now when I call POW here, I'm going to actually pass that a, comma b here. I'm going to, whatever number I've taken, I'm telling calculate the power of this and give me the result. Is that okay? And whatever the result is, you want to show that on the screen, right? Now here, in this code, I will have to write down here integer x, comma integer y. Do you understand why? Because whatever you passing as a will become x, whatever you passing as b will become y. Right? And here we don't need to have this here. The rest of the program doesn't change. Rest of the program just stays like that. So you're calculating whatever power and returning that. But you're not taking the user in, but you're basing it on the value somebody has provided you. Right? So when you run this code, you take your main program takes the user input, which is a and b, right? And then calls this function POW with that a and b. This a and b become x and y in the other one, which was your original code, right? So a will go as x, b will go as y. Whatever has been calculated, the result comes back as R1 to you. Yeah. So if I save this, when I run the code, you will not see any difference basically because yeah, there's no error. So there's no difference, right? But the difference is now I have a choice. I can call this function as many as times, but I can pass the values. Does that make sense? I can pass that value. I can say, look, system, I'm just going to show you one example. System dot out dot println POW 4, 6. I can even run it like that. Do you understand? This is my fixed values. I can call that function however I want to. Pass variables, pass static values, Up to you.
It's because it's in the main static block, that's why. Because it is in the main.
No, it is not because it has become a function. It is independent completely, right?
Okay.
It takes values from you and it returns you the result. Now it doesn't take value from the user, isn't it? You provided a value. So whether you take that in a main or you provide fixed, it doesn't matter. Even half fixed and half will work. Look, system dot out dot print line POW. There was A, isn't it? A, comma 10. Okay, understand? Depends on the requirement. How do you have it? You can run it as you want.
You can mix.
Yeah, because A is the number I took from user and I want to the power 10. I know I want to the power 10. Do you understand why I can run this program as I like? I can run this POW as you want to. Because you are saying that POW function does what? The job of it is to take two values, calculate the power and give you the result, right? Now how you pass the values to it, it's up to you when you're calling it. So you can call it in different ways. That's how you make methods, and that's what you've been doing actually earlier.
But this is only values you've been given, right?
I have been given these values, like 10, I know. That depends on the requirement.
Yeah.
But yes, you can take it from the user and give it. But what I'm trying to say is, maybe there is you were creating something big and the values are calculated about somewhere else and feed in. Does that make sense? Or like there's the values feed in from various systems. This is how method. The purpose of methods is this: that you are able to create something very independent, a few lines of code which runs independently, receives value from you and gives you back some value.
Can I see at the beginning?
The code.
Yeah, please, yeah. So, okay, yeah, because we've come, okay, we create this.
You say we're going to give you two values. We are going to give you two values, right? This function, we will provide, whosoever wants to this function will provide you x and y, right?
Okay.
You calculate it and give back the result. It's just same like your print line. What does print line do? You give it what you want to print, and it just prints it on the screen, isn't it? And we say that it only can receive one string. It doesn't take two strings. You can't put comma. You have to put plus because it only accepts one. So there's only one string it can accept. That's why you have to put plus, because plus happens before it prints. So print line is a function which you've been using. You've been using parseInt, isn't it? Have you been using integer.parseInt?
Yeah.
What does it takes whatever value you give it and it gives you back a number which you store in a variable. So that's a function which somebody else wrote, but you use it. You provided a number for a string and it gives you back a integer. How it does it, we don't know. We just know that it exists. We don't know the coding of that code, what it does. Alex, ask me questions. You look very worried. Come on, you'll have to ask me questions. What part is not clear? So like,
Yeah, no, I would like to difficulties to focus in the afternoon when it's becoming a concept.
okay, then do you want to write down the code? Because maybe when you start writing down the code, you will get involved. At the moment, you're just looking. I'm gonna leave. This is the screen at the moment, so tell me what do you want me to move when you want to.
Yeah, okay.
Start from the beginning of it.
There is a public static, whatever, but then just the name of the class, nothing else. That's how it starts.
The name of the class
Which is whatever you can keep, class name of the class depends on whatever you want to keep, it doesn't matter.
So all we're doing is basically public static int parse of lines.
you want me to print this? Give it to you.
Yeah. Is the rest of the code in the written form with the file?
Yeah, it's only in the folder. I still want to give you a printout so that you can look.
Yeah. Okay. Seriously, I think can you just like a day you do only this? How you start practicing?
I don't think.
Not just day.
Maybe 3 days a week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not easy stuff.
It's difficult.
Look up like a week after, it's like,
Yeah, you.
it's blank. It's crazy, seriously.
I think it will take me like 5 years. It takes 5 years to you, then maybe 10 years to me.
Huh? Yeah, practice.
This is 3. Because I have to do 2. I want to do 2 too.